In this video, I want to introduce React Helmet and fragments in React to have the title of our page up here change when we go from page to page. So the motivation for this is that if we look at our project file here and we go into the public folder, we look in our index.html, this is the title that gets loaded, and because we're making a single page app, there's only one HTML file here, this title never changes unless we use a tool to change that title. And that's what React Helmet does. So React Helmet is a package that, like it says up here, gives us a component that allows us to output the head tags for our HTML. So here is an example of it in usage. You import helmet from React Helmet. It is a named export. And then in your code anywhere, you can use that helmet to set any of those tags, like our title here. And it also tells us that if you have multiple components that use React Helmet, that the later component will override the previous component. So if you have title here and you have title here, this is the one that's going to show up on your page. So let's get React Helmet installed in our project. And if you look through here, you can see the name of the package and the installation instructions. So I'm going to npm I, which is short for install, React Helmet. This will take a second. It's going to add that to my package.json. We can see here. And then I can go into any of my pages, like let's go to the About page. I can import Helmet from React Helmet. Use that helmet component. And then I can set any of the attributes of my head that I want to. So I am going to say that this is quiz game, and I'm going to use the m dash using HTML entities here to insert that. And let's say that this is about. So if I flip back to my browser, check out the About page, when we go to that page, the title changes. So now what I want to do is just go into each of my pages and drop in a structure that looks like this. So if I go to my new game page and I try to drop in my helmet next to new game form, I'm going to get a compile error here. And if I check it out, save my file, we can't have adjacent JSX elements that are not wrapped in some tag. And it's giving us a nice suggestion here that maybe we wanted to use what's called a JSX fragment. So all of our components have to return a single tag. So you might be tempted to just do this, div, and let me turn this into a self-closing tag. Let's update this to say this is our settings. And I got to make sure that I import helmet here from React Helmet. So a div will work here. I have now wrapped it, so these elements are nested within this div. If I flip back to my browser, I go to my home page, we can see settings, about, the about changes up here. The thing that, oh, I've got an extra semicolon that's showing up in my browser. Let me make sure I get rid of that. The thing that is a little annoying about this structure is that we have now just added a div into our markup for our page for no real reason. We don't actually need this for semantic markup or stylistic reasons. We are just doing this to conform to the React structure of needing a parent to wrap around these. So enter React fragments. So a React fragment is a way for you to group elements without actually adding any extra elements to your web page, without adding anything to your DOM, the document object model. And the motivation for that is oftentimes you may need to create a component that returns a list of children. So here we've got a table row, and then we have this columns component down here where we just want to return a bunch of table data without this div around it. Because that outputs something that looks like this with table row, and then this unnecessary div. And the proper markup for a table here would be without this div, where the TDs are directly under our table row. So instead of using a div, you can use a React fragment, which then disappears in the output of your page. There's no HTML element that gets inserted there. And there's a shorter syntax in the latest versions of React where you put an empty tag to indicate that this is a React fragment. So we are going to flip back to our code here and get rid of this div. And now we have a React fragment, which satisfies our need to have a parent around the helmet and the new game form without adding any extra markup to our page. So then to finish this off, all I have to do is grab this helmet, flip over to my play page, and replicate this structure. Oops, didn't mean to collapse that. And bring my quiz game up here and make sure that import helmet. So now as I flip from homepage to play to about, the title bar changes appropriately. So that's it for this video. Helmet allows you to control the tags inside of your head, which is really useful with our router setup. And React Fragments allow us to return a group of elements without inserting more markup into our page.